Welcome to our science class. Good day, students. How are you today? Once again, this is Teacher Ann, your teacher in science. We're going to continue our lesson on Unit 1. Okay, this is our week 2. Still, we are going to study about plants. But before that, we have to study 10 vocabulary words. Okay, you can open again your book on page 2. Okay, for the vocabulary word and then the Thai meaning. Okay, please repeat after me. First word, fibrous root. Fibrous root. Okay, let's spell the word fibrous root. Fibrous-root. Fibrous root. Function. 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 Next word, fuse. 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 Next word, germinate. 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 Next word, heal. 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 Okay, next words. The next 5 words we have involve. 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 Medicine. 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 Multiply. 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 Nourish. 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 Next, nutrient. 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 Okay. Next, let's learn these 5 vocabulary words with meaning. First word, we have photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means the way plants use light to put things together, usually to make a new thing. Okay, next word. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Carbondioxide. Carbon dioxide. What's the meaning of carbon dioxide? A colorless, odorless gas found in our atmosphere, needed by the plants in making their food. Next word we have reproduction. Reproduction. The process of making a copy of something. Next word we have pollination. Pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the male structure of a plant to the female structure of a plant. Next word we have fertilization. Fertilization is the process where the male's pollen grains fuse together with the female's ovules inside the ovary and become one new cell. So the picture tells you about fertilization. Okay. You can now open your book on page 7. Let's start. Okay, photosynthesis. We'll talk about photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place inside the leaves. Okay, you can see there in the picture. Okay, what's the meaning of photosynthesis? The concept of photosynthesis is photo means light coming from the sun, plus synthesis means putting things together. So therefore, photosynthesis means the way plants use light to help put things together, usually to make a new thing. So this process takes place inside the leaves. To make food, plants make use of chlorophyll in the leaves to absorb light energy. So this chlorophyll class captures the light coming from the sun. Okay. Okay, this chlorophyll in the leaves, present in the leaves, is absorbing the light energy coming from the sun. The light combines carbon dioxide and water to produce sugar and oxygen. So this light is captured by the chlorophyll in the leaves, then combine the water, okay, and the carbon dioxide in the leaves in order to produce sugar or carbohydrates plus the oxygen. So during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide enters the plants through the stomata of the leaves. At the same time, the plants release oxygen. Okay, let's go back here. At the same time, the plants release oxygen and exhaust water through the stomata, giving us fresh air. Okay, that's it. So next, we have reproduction. Okay, that involves the pollination and fertilization. Okay, let's have first reproduction. The process, okay, reproduction is the process this process involves two main structures of a plant, the male and female structure of a plant. Okay, you can open your book on page 8. Look at your page 8. Okay, in reproduction, it involves two parts of a plant, the male and female part. The male part, okay, male parts are called stamens. Okay, they include anther and filament. So look at this picture, you can see which one is the anther and which one is the filament. Okay. Next, we have the female part or female parts of a plant or female parts of plants. Okay, we call that pistil or carpel. Okay, pistil or carpel includes stigma, style, and ovary. Okay, in the ovary, inside there's the ovule. Okay, the next process is called pollination. So in reproduction, there's pollination. When you say pollination, it is the transfer of pollen grains from the male structure of a plant to the female structure of a plant. So here there are two types of pollination. We have the self-pollination and the cross-pollination. What is self-pollination? In self-pollination class, it happens when the pollen that lands on the stigma is from the same plant. So like for example, on this picture, you can see the female and the male part of a flower. So in self-pollination, the pollen lands on the stigma is from the same plant. Okay, here the other one is the cross-pollination. Cross-pollination happens when the pollen that lands on the stigma is from a different plant. So it involves two plants, and then by the help of insects like bees, okay, this pollen are carried by these insects and deposited in the stigma of another plant. From the anther, okay, the pollen from the anther are carried by the bee or by bees or butterflies, and then they will deposit this pollen, okay, on the stigma of another plant or different plant. Okay, the next process is called fertilization. After pollination, the process is what we call fertilization. So we have vocabulary words for fertilization. First one is pollen grains. What are these pollen grains? These are the male sex cells of a flower. Ovules, okay, the female sex cells of a flower. Okay, ovary, this is a female organ that produces an ovum. So in fertilization, this is a process where the male's pollen grains fuse together with the female's ovules inside the ovary and become one new cell. So look at the picture, how it happens. Okay, the pollen grains lands on the stigma, and then it will Okay, go down to the style and to the pollen tube, and then go straight to the inside the ovary where it will meet with the ovules. So the ovary becomes fruit and ovules become seeds during fertilization. The pollinated flower will develop into a fruit with seeds. So as what I've said, ovary becomes a fruit and ovules become seeds. Flowers can become fruits after fertilization. So this is how it happens, okay, during fertilization and then post-fertilization. The, the ovary becomes the fruit and seed. The ovule and the ovary turns into seed and fruit. Okay. So we have the weekly activity direction. Get a piece of paper for you to answer the following questions. So for what gas do plants need for photosynthesis? So we have choices here. A, oxygen, B, carbon dioxide, C, hydrogen. Next, what do plants give off after photosynthesis? Choices, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen. Just choose the correct letter of your answer. Number 3, in what part of a plant does photosynthesis occur? Root, leaf, or stem? Number 4, what is the male part of a flower? Pistil, stamen, or carpel? 5, what is the green substance inside the leaf that absorbs sunlight? Is it water, chlorine, or chlorophyll? Number 6, it happens when the pollen that lands on the stigma is from a different plant. Is it self-pollination, cross-pollination, or fertilization? 7, what is the female part of a flower? Pistil, stamen, or sepal? 8, it is the transfer of pollen grains from the male structure of a plant to the female structure of a plant. Is it fertilization, pollination, or reproduction? Number 9, it is the process where the male's grains fuse together with the female's ovules inside the ovary and become one new cell. Is it reproduction, pollination, or fertilization? And number 10, it is the process of making a copy of something. A, reproduction, B, pollination, or C, fertilization. Okay, good luck. I hope you can answer everything. So see you next week. Bye-bye.